Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 10 of SICSS-Howard Mathematica. I can't get over how quickly 12 days has gone by. So I say 12 because we had our 2 days of Praxis to Power. How long ago does that feel that we started off over the weekend with Juneteenth, and you have made it to the end. And as I've said to all of you, it is not a foregone conclusion that folks make it to the end. Every site, every year has some folks drop off, and I believe it's 15 of you went and made it the distance. So as I mentioned yesterday, pat yourself on the back and spend some time thinking about the path that you took to get here. It was not a simple one. It came with sacrifices in other areas of your life, I imagine. Sacrifice on sleep, I'm sure, for some of you last night, maybe working on your presentations. You'll have a little bit more time to work on that today as well, but lots of sacrifices, and we deeply appreciate your commitment and your brilliance. You know, you could have chose to apply to any site and you decided to come here. You could have also chose to spend this 2 weeks at the beach. And on a bunch of other things, sleeping. You know, that we start this up not long after the close of the semester, so many of us are still shaking off the cobwebs of teaching and research and classes and mentoring students, or teaching students at the close of the semester before this starts up. So what you've done here is miraculous, and if you have not brushed your shoulders off, power pose in front of the mirror, and given yourself a hug, you should do that. You are deserving of that. If we were in the same place, there would be a giant group hug in front of a banner happening right now. I regret that that is not the case and not possible just yet. Most of our sites, I believe, were online or at a hybrid this summer. We hope to change that in the future. Knock knock, world health and well-being willing. But and I have to tell you that after 2 years, I have only met one person who's attended our SICSS site, Regina, who is at Berkeley. I have not met Ben from last year, who's in my own damn department, but I've met one person, and I welcome the opportunity to meet all of you. I'll actually be on the East Coast next week, so I'll be in New York and near Boston. So if you happen to be in one of those places, let me know. Let's get together and get a photo and commiserate. I seriously have no idea how tall anyone is. Like, I'm expecting to show up and there's all these like giants and like fun-sized folks. I have no sense. Everybody's shoulders, no idea. So I'm excited. Oh, Renee, thank you, Renee. But Renee, see, I met you before this, so that doesn't count. So I have to meet you now that you have crossed the threshold into SICSS-ness. So yeah, that counts. Okay, fine. Yeah, so I met Renee beforehand at an arts event. All right, so let's jump into our morning for the very, very last time. And in this SICSS-Howard Mathematica space, I want to remind you to be who you are, and as you are enough. What you give and the questions you bring to the table are enough in this space and in every space you enter. Take care of your biological and technological needs as they come up. You should eat whenever you need to on camera, even turn your camera off if needed. In every space that you are in, take care of yourself. Everyone is a student here, no matter what your title. Never lose track of the fact that we got pulled into this space because we love to learn. Never take away the opportunity for you yourself to claim a student posture. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing to fall back and learn, to give yourself that in every space you enter. Set your personal intention for today and every day for the rest of your life. Start thinking about what your personal intention is for this institute and for this academic endeavor we have all chosen. Is there something specific you want to learn, a skill you want to begin to master? Do you want to drink in this life from the fire hose from which is delivered and revisit again at the end of the month, at the end of the week, at the end of the year, at the end of your career? What are the increments at which you want to reflect on these decisions and this thing that you are doing, that you are constantly creating? Do you want to be a better collaborator? Do you want to ask questions confidently? Do you want to practice R or Python or some other element of your academic of your academic life. What are the things that are scary to you that that you want to commit to learn piece by piece, knowing that we are never behind? You are not behind. You are not behind anyone. You are running your own race. The only person that you are competing with is yourself. Set your intention for today. It can change tomorrow. It can change midday. It's yours and yours alone. If you do not run your own race in this environment where our employers are grappling with DEI, we will have other people decide what we should be spending our time on if we do not decide that for ourselves. We got lots of guest speakers who spent time with us and talked to us about how they structure their time, the breaks that the breaks that they decide to take. I am here for the faculty member who said that they take the entire month of July off. I am going to work on focusing my attention on that. Obviously, my advisors, after I finish my dissertation, I am going to work on doing that during my career, and maybe taking Wednesdays off, middle of the week, because I often work on Sunday. So why shouldn't I give myself another day off? So what are the things that you want to be part of your life? This academic endeavor we've chosen is choose your own adventure. You get to structure this however you want. What are the priorities and things that you want to put first? One of our speakers said that, they're like, I put my massage appointments, I put my Pilates in there, tending to the kids, the things that I love, and then I work everything else around it. Make sure that you are making space for your joy, the things that bring you joy and solace, especially in this world that often challenges our right to exist as women, as people of color, as scholars. We are in a world that is quite different from what I think many of us imagined. Make sure that you are starting your existence every day thinking about how to care for yourself, because we all care for so many others. So with that said, we're going to drop our question to the chat box today. About to get a little mushy. Eyeballs might start sweating a little bit, might be crying a little bit. What's your favorite memory from SICSS-Howard Mathematica? Is there a person in this space whose leadership or comments have continuously inspired you? Maybe you haven't told them yet, one of your colleagues. Is there a moment where you're about to drop out and you're like, that thing that person said, I stayed in it? Is there somebody in your family that made this possible, an advisor? Tell us whatever it was, share multiples. What will you walk away from this and remember? I want you to commit that to note and take the time to read what other people are writing. Love our humble brags every morning. So if something good is happening, publication, got in those reps at the gym, made something, toast up, put your foot in something in the kitchen last night, made some good food. So folks don't understand that, look it up. Put your foot in something you made last night. It's not your actual foot. So look that up. Share something and read the things that people have experienced and shout each other out, because you are all deserving of all the kudos, all of the kudos. So a few announcements while you're doing that. We're going to head into Sophia Noble's keynote address very shortly after this. So we have left a good chunk of time for that. One of the highlights of folks' experience last year was being in space and connecting surrounding Timnit Gebru's talk. So it's done in sort of the same vein, a one-on-one interview, fireside chat with her, and she talks about the challenges of being other in these spaces, the challenges that she's encountered, as well as her research. So if you're needing a bit of inspiration for this final push, especially ahead of your presentations, I'd recommend that you prioritize that work, especially after yesterday. Yesterday was a lot. We had 3 presentations. That was a lot. It was a lot for our staff too. I got to tell you, not my preference to do that, but sometimes it bees like that. We'll talk about that when we get to keep, start, stop. But I hear you. Yesterday was a lot. Okay. Today, a lot less. We'll only do 2. Today, our keynote, and then we'll close with our plenary speaker, who is an incredible phenom of amazingly brilliant government, public sector, private sector, just amazingness, Laverne Council. So we'll end with that later. But we'll do a private screening of Sophia's talk. We will note any questions that attendees have After that, please share those with Merlin in the chat box and we will work on getting answers to those questions. Safia is just an incredible person, very busy, but is responsive when I write to her. So we will get those questions to her. So for our attendees of the talk, you'll get a special opportunity to send questions to her. Please make sure your name is on those questions so we can shout you out to her and also get those answers back. All right, so we're going to spend some time today in a bunch of different little things, but the whole goal is to get y'all to your presentations later. So I just want to remind you, if you're planning to use slides, add them to our template. So I'm going to drop that in the chat box for y'all right now. I'm sure you all have it, and it looks like there were lots of editing happening overnight. So I think we have all, oops, sorry, that's just the name of it. That's not the hyperlink. There we go. All right, so there's the hyperlink. I think all but one group or individual has added their slides to that. So I'll follow up directly with anybody who's not added slides. It's totally fine if you don't want to use slides, but there is a space at the bottom for the last group. For those of you who've already put your stuff in there, you'll notice I added a group number to it. Don't worry, that's just for me to count and catch who's in there, okay? Once feel free to edit out those group numbers and me making it red and such like that. That was just so I could keep track of what was there. I'd love to hear from teams what order you would like to go in. We'll do that. We have about 20 minutes to do for me to go over process with you all, and we'll figure out our order. I'd love to alternate individual, group, individual. I think we've got 5 groups to that. I think that means group, individual, group. I'd love to do that to mix it up. The order totally up to you. The fact that it's in a particular order in the spread inside our document means nothing. So that's just to add. So we'll figure that out a little bit later before we start. We've got about 20 minutes, I think, to go over that. Let's see. Yeah, feel free to add other slides in there, you know, whatever you want to do. It looks like folks got it. So we're going to give you a survey today. I'm going to try to leave a little bit of time at the end of our time here right now before we kick off for you to fill it out. So in order for us to have nice things, we need to be able to report back to SICSS Umbrella and also our funders about what happened and what you liked and what you didn't. Expecting total honesty. You know, we can't get better if we don't know what you actually think. I apologize. This isn't like a gamified survey. You know, there won't really be like pictures or animation or anything like that. It's just a straight up survey. So I'm going to drop that in the chat box in just a minute. I want to go over everything else before you get focused in on that. I want you to really spend some time. There's space in there for Likert. There's Likert scales as well as spaces, open boxes for us to find out what you thought. From my recollection, I believe it is anonymous. I'm going to take a quick look at that. I believe it's an anonymous survey. I think that was the goal. We had very high participation last year. Yeah, it's an anonymous survey. And we're hoping to get as close to 100% participation this year. Anonymous. Tell us what you think. Tell us. At the end of our time together, our staff also has put together a postmortem. So y'all were asked to do that in your slide, your final slide, to talk about what went great, what you would have changed. We do that for our whole site. All of them are published for every site. So what you write will help us put together our post-mortem and also process out this experience. So please give us everything, all your thoughts. If there's things you would change, things that you think we should continue and invest in, we'd love to hear that. I would also encourage you all, and I'm one of these people, if you're in a space and you're like noticing stuff about how things are run, think about founding a site or joining a site as an organizer. And if you're interested in that, I'm happy to set up a time to talk to you about participation at our site here or next year, or potentially getting involved with another site. There are some organizers that are like, where do I want to go on vacation next year? And they're like, yep, working in South Africa. Yep, working in Turkey. Yep, going to India. So lots of opportunity here that we can talk through. All right, let's see. Also, reminder, TAs are still available today. Someone asked a question about after today. Sadly, after today, all of our TA Cinderella's turned into pumpkins. That doesn't exactly work, but y'all know what I mean. So all of those TAs return to their full-time work after this. If TA access after the institute is something that you think would be valuable, maybe that's something you include when you fill out the survey. If you're just like, it would help to have, I don't know, a pony, or hey, I love a t-shirt, fill in the survey, let us know what you want. And often, and we, if you notice, we incorporated, you may not know this, but last year, the funding we offered was meant to be just for the people in that year. And last year's people were like, well, what about next year? So you know what? We opened it up to them too. So let us know what you want, okay? I can't promise we can deliver everything, but we try our best, as you can see with our Keep Start Stops daily, to be responsive, okay? So let's jump into Keep Start Stop. Speaking of that, so I think the person sharing today is going to be Ella. Ella. If you can believe it, she'd never heard that Rihanna song about the umbrella before, right before the Institute. Ella, yeah, I do that to her like every day. All right, thank you. So let's take a look at yesterday, day 9. And just so you know, you will be able to do this tonight too. So as always, it will be posted and you'll be able to give us your final thoughts, which will get included into our postmortem in addition to your survey. So keep Mathematica roundtables, yay! Group projects, people love that. All formats, don't know what that means, but cool. Oh, all formats, I mean individual and group projects, I'm assuming. Cool. Okay, so start. Sharing the key for the R assignments we did in week 1. Oh, that's awesome. You should be writing to folks on the general channel. I believe people are sharing all of the results. So in this mimics what we do in computational social science. So no one person has the answer, and often the answer changes. So the general channel and the pre-office hours channel are a great place to talk about things that you've struggled with, areas where you ran into a problem in the assignment and have questions. So, in computational social science, there will never be like a key somewhere. So this is meant to mimic and to train you to reach out and to ask questions. So I would encourage you, if you're looking for that key, to look around on the general channel in the pre-office hours channel and start asking questions. Physical summer school. I think that means you want to do this in person. Yeah, me too. That sounds like a great idea. So I think that is the plan for next year. A lot of us have chosen hybrids because it makes it easier for anybody, anywhere, or online fully to participate. So it might have been harder for folks who need visas to come to the US. It also, there are also the additions of people switching time zones and leaving their families, so I suspect in the long run that there will probably be either a hybrid, some sort of hybrid model, but we hear you on the in-person. And those of you participating in the Crown Act project, I believe that there is a plan for all collaborators to gather at Howard at some point. So folks that are working on that project, still in it, if you want to talk, please do. Right now, we do not have any collaborators on that project from our site. And again, totally up to you what y'all want to do. There is no right or wrong answer. I know that the South Africa site is about to do the same exercise today. I actually was with them this morning at 5:30 in the morning to lecture on our site and also on that experience. They're about to kick into it, so I'm excited to see what they do. All right, stop. The volume of programming was a bit overwhelming today. I completely agree. I was exhausted. 3 programs in one day is a lot. I noticed that many of us didn't have time to watch all the speaker videos. Haha, speaker videos. Those were all on our website before SICSS started. So I'd say a week or 2 before, all of those were there. So you all have always had the ability to watch those videos. I agree the volume was a lot yesterday, but that was, I would say, not an impediment to the watching of those videos in advance. I would recommend not trying to fit in 3 featured speakers so close to the end of the program. Yes, I agree. If I had any choice in the matter, and we'll leave that for after hours talk, I would not have done that. When we're focused on projects, totally agree, completely agree. Yes, our team was exhausted last night too. All right, then finally, anything else? I love the SICSS-Howard Mathematica Summer Institute. Yay! I like the speakers, the design of group projects, our workshop, and all the participants. I agree. Y'all are badasses. Brush your shoulders off. Special thanks to Nanette. That's me. Staff, Mathematica TA, speakers, and people who work behind the scenes. Thank you. 1, it is hard to watch the videos from the presentations ahead of time. I don't know what to tell you about that. Since they've been up for quite a long time. I don't know. Make time, especially since we assigned folks the chance to choose which videos they wanted to watch and set up your own schedule for that. I would say that that just might be revisit your timing. Personally, 3 talks a day is a lot. I agree. I did not want to do that. I did not. I had no choice. I agree. It's a nice opportunity being part of this summer school. Whoever said that, we loved having you here. That's true of all of you. All right. All right, so that ends that. So we're gonna drop the let's see, the survey in the chat box for y'all. You will have all of today to work on that, and probably after today. So it is in the chat box for you. I think it takes about 10 minutes. So if you want to work on it on and off during the day, but we'll let you know with numbers how many people have filled it out. The magic number is 15. We're hoping we hear from everybody. So we're going to let our inspirational speaker in, and after she chats with us, I will go over the schedule. So let's go ahead and let Amy in. Amy Yaboa Kwarkme.
Good morning.
Good morning. The floor is yours. You have an audience that is excited to see you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited.
They're a little tired. This is the last stretch, so we're gonna need some extra inspiration from you today.
Okay, it's Happy New Month, so that should be, inspiring that you made to this new month with this new work, or this continuing work ahead of you. It's an honor to be here to close out this session with this inspirational moment. What I want to tell you, it's a quote that I have that I kind of keep on my wall. The quote is from a book called Sun Stand Still by Stephen Furtick. And the quote states, and I'll put this in the chat, just in case. Yes, so it says, if the size of your vision for your life isn't intimidating to you, there's a good chance it's insulting to God. So when we think about, how big data science has kind of transformed over the years, it's kind of, in its language, become big, right? And there's so much we're doing with it. As much as you're working in this field, you should also think about how much more you can do to make your work grow to that level and not be intimidated by that, right? When we think about the data lakes and all these other data infrastructures that didn't exist a couple years ago, and now they're the biggest thing that's happening. So within whatever field or whatever area you want to focus in, particularly around minorities, gender, race, politics, think of it as possibly being big, right? And if you think big, it can get there. It can get there. So I want to push everyone to not limit yourself in how far you think your work can reach, whether it's just in your state, your country, the world, right? It can reach that far. And also how far, when we think about tools that exist in data science, how much more tools we need that can come from you. Like R, someone created R, someone created SPSS, someone created Python. Like you also have that same capacity to also say, I want to create a new tool, right? So don't limit yourself, and it should feel intimidating. That's how you know you're going in the right direction, right? So just some motivation. Again, happy new month. Continue to do this good work, and it was an honor to have you all take part in this program, particularly at Howard. For my Howard faculty, it's good to see you all, and we look forward to possibly for our students maybe hiring you at Howard and continuing this work that you started on. So again, it's an honor and pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your summer and your break, and I think that's all I had. That's good.
Woo, thank you. Fire on a Friday. Thank you so much.
No
oh
problem,
my
no
gosh,
problem.
I needed that. I don't know if everybody else needed that, but stay in the deep end. If
Yes.
You're not a little intimidated, if you're not a little anxious, then maybe you're playing it safe. Love that. Thank you.
No
Woo,
problem.
needed that. All right, folks, I'm going to go over the schedule, and then we're going to open our room so that you can head to the keynote address. You also are welcome to meet with your teams if you need that time as well. You will have more time after that. so that 20 minutes I've set aside for your to review the what we need to do is probably going to take about 5. So you'll have that time. You'll also have your break. I would encourage you, if you're needing energy for the journey, to go to that talk. I would also tell you that you're already done. Everything you've prepared, you're ready, it's good. It's also not recorded. And you're going to be surrounded by family that are there to not just hear your presentation, but try to answer the questions and support you in the things that you need to get this work to the next level. Okay. All right, let's look at our schedule. Let's look at our schedule, look at our schedule, look at our schedule. So we're finishing up logistics right now. Next up is the keynote, 10 to 11:30 with Safia Noble. That will be screened in the keynote room, Safia keynote room. Then we have 11:30 to 12 break. I will let you know that the video is longer than 10 to 11:30. So if you go to that, it will go over into your break. There's no reason why y'all can't turn off your cameras and have that run in the background and listen to it while you're doing other stuff. That's fine. Use it like a podcast, do other stuff. 12 to 1, you'll work on your group projects. And then 1 to 1:20, I'll give an overview of what the process is going to be like. Like I said, I think I'll take about 5 minutes. So most likely you'll head right back into your group rooms after that. I'll try to be very quick. And then from 1:20 to 4, each team or individual will get half an hour. So you'll get 10 to 20 minutes to present, and then that remaining time for questions from the audience or for them to respond to requests that you have. Again, financial should not be one of those requests. Resources outside of that space, totally fine. We will handle the financial response. You will have people in the audience that are from across the experience for the last 2 weeks. So TAs, sponsors, speakers, everybody. But I would say the folks that should most be deeply engaged and prepared to give feedback are your teammates. So we will lean towards I should say your cohort mates for their questions first. So think about what would you ask of your cohort mates in the SICSS-Howard Mathematica space. And then beyond that, there will be folks on the further backbenchers who will be watching and engaged as well. Then we'll finish with a closing plenary and Q&A from the dynamic, the incredible, the amazing Laverne H. Council, who is founder and chief executive officer of Emerald One. She's also on the board for Mathematica and a number of other things, and has served at high levels in U.S. government in the same way that William Spriggs has. I'd recommend that you read her bio and maybe think of a few questions. We'll take a quick break. After that, 5 to 5:15, scroll down, and then we will do our final debrief and conclusion. So alongside me thanking every single person that had anything to do with this event, we will also be doing a pass the mic exercise. So I will pass the mic to everybody in the room who has an interest in commenting or sharing their thoughts on this experience. And we will close this out as we started it, as a beautiful group of brilliant people who have now become family. So we'll do a pass the mic exercise at the end, lots of thank yous. I will tell you that we went long past 5:45 last year, but we're hoping that folks will share their thoughts and feelings. So that does it. So we can drop share. So everybody has access to the survey. Again, I'll keep you updated all day on how many people filled it out. It is anonymous, so I won't be able to scream at anybody who hasn't filled it out, but I will be able to go, there are 3 of you. Okay. So please, we're going to open up the rooms. Please head to the keynote speaker room, Safia Noble, MacArthur Genius grantee, and as well as author of Algorithms of Oppression, which is now in all of your possession, except our 2 international participants are working on that. So that room is now open. We'll start the screening once this room is completely cleared. Our rooms are open for group work too. The names of our people today are Black, female, millionaire, and billionaires. Stay in the deep end. Millionaires and billionaires. Madam C.J. Walker to kick it off. Oprah's on the list, as well as quite a few other people. Some you may know, some you may not. Rooms are open. Have a great day. We'll see you in a bit. Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, follow us on social media, and join our email list.